Hey everybody, this is Brett, and I'm just watching this rheumatoid arthritis treatment video from Dr. Mercola, and the doctors are always into the scientific aspects and analyzing the components of foods and things and experiments, and that's all good. But let me give you another side to the story from someone that's a massage therapist that has really good intuition and 22 years of experience in regards to diet changes and healing. And I will tell you that even though I have a genetic predisposition towards arthritis and have had ancestors, grandparents that had horrible arthritis, I can tell you that because I am vegan, no gluten, no soy, there's very, 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 very little possibility for me to get rheumatoid arthritis. And the reason is because I'm not consuming foods that create stagnation and clog the joints in my body. That's why. And the cleaner and cleaner I get my body, the more I feel my joints lubricating and flowing freely rather than getting worse and worse with old age. And yes, there is a bacterial component here, absolutely, because the more you consume dairy mucus, the more you consume animal fats that clog your body, the more you get stagnation, and the more you get stagnation, the more you have parasites of all kinds building in your body. That is the deal. And those things, I didn't hear Dr. Mercola mention any of those things, that you need to quit eating freaking dairy foods and animal foods in order for your body to flow freely and not get cancer and bacterial infections, ear infections especially, anything sinus and ears. Absolutely, you've got to get away from that freaking dairy mucus, and that includes goat too. Believe me, I've owned my own goat, I milked the goat, and it was totally range-free, and I know that even though it was better and not near as fatty as cow, it still didn't work, and it's totally illogical to consume any animal's milk for a human being beyond the age of 1 or 2. So, not only does it create those dairy mucus and ear infection troubles, but it stagnates the joints, especially as a massage therapist. I have worked on old people's fingers that could not open them more than that, and I could feel the fat. I can feel the fat from animal foods in people's hands. I went dancing last night. I went contra dancing. And I touch hands. I danced with over 100 women last night, and you can feel their hands. And as they get older and older, if they're still eating all those animal foods, then their arteries and veins are getting more and more clogged full of animal fats, and their skin, especially their joints, and you can see that in the extremities. Feet and hands feet, hands, and face show your health more than anything else. And somebody like myself that works on people all the time and feels the dexterity of their body. I can feel who's fatty and who's full of dairy cheese and all the rest of that muck real easy. It's real easy to see. And skin, if you can see the pores really well, then you know that their skin is clean and clear. And if there's a lot of color in their skin, And you know that a person that has been eating a lot of vegetables, a lot of green vegetables, can go out in the sun for as long as they want and that they'll get a deep, dark tan. And somebody that's skin is all white and packed full of dairy fat, they're just going to burn and get pink red. And you know, no, I'm not I'm not your scientist that's that's been doing studies and learning about chemicals and this and that, but you know what? I have a lot of knowledge firsthand and an understanding for the truth of the matter. And the truth of the matter is that when you can get a broad range of foods, a broad range of plant-based foods into your diet, and when you can get clean air, when I see people that come from the country, they come from the country and they were raised in the mountains or the country, away from the city, away from the smog. When you see those people and their clear skin and their clear eyes, you know that they've been spending time away from the masses. And you know how healthy they are, at least physically. They're generally not as developed mentally because they haven't been exposed to talking with people and this and that, even though now with the internet and you know, television coming on in the 60s, 70s, etc., they've gotten a lot more exposure to the general public. Still, they're not as with it as most people in the city mentally. But physically, they're just robust and strong. They're farmers and they got muscle and they're beautiful baby-making machines, you know, and people from the Fiji Islands. You know, same deal, even more so, because those foods, those volcanic foods from those islands are packed full of vitamins and minerals, so much more. And that's probably largely why so many of the raw foodists tend to want to go to those warm and tropical regions. Whew! That's a lot, but it's very valuable. Oh, and what I was going to say, not just the air, the food and the water. Clean air, clean food, clean water. But not just that. It's also the environment inside your house. Because you can live clear out in the country, but if you've got a house full of toxic carpet, toxic chemicals, then guess what? That's not helping you any. If you're blowing dust mites from your furnace through those vents all out into the air all winter, that's not doing very good for you. And if you're burning wood in a stove that's leaking smoke into the air in your house, even if it's just a small amount, that's not good for you. There's all kinds of things, and you have to know. And you may be living in the country, but you still may be exposed to a tremendous amount of EMFs, or static electricity in your house, electromagnetic fields. And so there are so many things to consider, and those are the big ones. I'm giving you the big ones. Okay? Clean air, food, and water. Clean air, food, and water. Radically reducing the amount of electrical exposure in your house. And the amount of dust mites and the way you heat your house in the winter is huge. It's got to be clean. Do your homework. Educate yourself. And wood floors, and get out and walk barefoot as much as you can outdoors on grass or dirt, mud. The beach, sand, wet sand is good. And vegan. And vegan, no gluten or soy. Cut the soy. So those are the things. There was about 6, 7, 8 of them. Big things. And if people would do those things, this world would be freaking incredibly healthy. incredibly healthy, you know, and we got to work on the packaged foods too, because you see, the plastic in your foods, plastic absorbing into foods, in the future we're going to learn of the detriments of that. That is going to plague freaking hell on human bodies. Somehow the plastics have to get out and away from our foods. Don't ask me. I don't know. Actually, I have some ideas, but all in good time, and I've given you a tremendous amount of things to work on. Things that you know are just plain common sense. That's what I'm all about. Subscribe and you'll get more. Bye.